Welcome back to another episode of Terp Trends. This week, I'm joined with Jay from Little Beach Harvest, Long Island's first tribally owned cannabis dispensary. Located on the sovereignty land of the Shinnecock Nation, Little Beach Harvest represents more than just a dispensary. It's a powerful statement of sovereignty, sustainability, and social equity in this cannabis space. Jay shares insights into the journey of launching a native-owned operation, what sets Little Beach Harvest apart, and how the Shinnecock Nation is carving out its place in the New York market and beyond. Whether you're in the industry or just passionate about conscious cannabis, this is an episode you're going to want to tap into. This is Terp Trends. Let's dive in.
No doubt. I appreciate you having me here, Adam. I love the platform. I love what you do for the cannabis industry and for the people, for the small, for the big, for the large, for everybody to have a place to tell their story. I'm Jay Wright, product marketing manager for Little Beach Harvest, which is located in Southampton, New York, and is actually a Shinnecock uh, tribally owned dispensary on territory here in Southampton. So we are an indigenous tribe and we own our dispensary wholeheartedly and outright. And we basically create our own products. We create our own infrastructure, and we also employ and have other brands who are from the nation supply us with products. And basically, as my
Wow.
job as the product marketing manager, I basically uh, do quality assurance. I pick out flower, the products. I do pretty much all the hat wearing at times when it comes to like picking out flower and just events and things of that nature. And yeah, that's my job, and I love it.
Yeah. Well, I feel like one thing in this space, for everyone that does work in this space at a certain level, you never wear one hat. If you're
No,
not prepared to change your whole outfit in 1 minute, you're
every
not going
day,
to succeed, right? That's what
every
you and I
day.
were just talking about. The fires that just happen randomly that you're like, where is this coming from? How do I
Yeah,
even deal with this, right? So that's
yeah.
cool. So, Jay, indigenous owned, break that down a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. So we are on our territory, which is in Southampton, New York, in Long Island, on the eastern part. We're a tribe of about 6,000 people, Aboriginal to the land here. We are first contact people. So to explain that in senses, we were the first people is when people were coming off that Dutch boat, that was us, and anything else going further down, there's pictures, there's like emblems of everything of like our first actual meeting with everybody. It's so we've been here for a while. We've basically been interested in moving into the cannabis spotlight for since it's been introduced into the New York area. That was about 8 years or so ago. And basically, my tribe was looking into it at a standpoint from on the medicinal side. But things changed within New York and it became recreational. So we moved as the times moved with that. My tribe, it took us quite a time to build this place and get this place up and going with all the red tape that is on cannabis alone, but not only that, but being of an indigenous culture, an indigenous area, not what quite frankly working hand in hand with the New York State because we are not in the New York State like area. Once you actually step foot onto tribal land here on Shinnecock, you're technically outside of New York. So it's
Gotcha.
we exercise basically our sovereignty here. And with that being said, we decided to move into the cannabis realm, and we just been going on, man. We were a year and about a year and a quarter in now. We've opened November 15th and of last year, 2023, and basically we're just moving and grooving. And my tribe wanted to do this so that we could have something going into entrepreneurship, going into leadership, and basically becoming something self-sustainable for our people here and for the generations moving forward. So that was always the goal here, and really our tribe is based off resiliency. As I said, we were the first contact people, so we've been here, So this is as strong as we have always been with following our path and what we wanted to do with ourselves and following into the business footsteps. And that's not only pertaining to cannabis, but this was just the opening door for all the things that my tribe could pretty much do to be like, hey, we can continue to open up and become more and more leaders into this world. So I'm
Yeah.
glad to be part of that.
Yeah, so even that's awesome, first of
Yeah,
all. And now my head's spinning in so different ways. But
yeah.
say before this medicinal cannabis came to our area, right? What was your tribe's view on it prior to that? And did you have any like
Pushback.
resistance towards that?
Yeah,
Like how's that politics
of
work in a
course.
tribe to
Of
bring that
course.
up?
So just in since like our tribe, we're very like I gave you the numbers, but we're very small, we're very tight knit. Everybody knows everybody. And this this whole project, this whole thing wouldn't happen unless my tribe agreed upon. So we have our meetings where we discuss it, and it's passed through the nation, passed through the tribe in order to happen. Granted that the fact that it did happen, there was always bumps in the road. There's always questions, and there's always things that people have to deal with because of the stigma around cannabis and indigenous culture and what it normally looks like. So with our elders, I think it was the real focus of trying to let them understand of where we were coming from with this, with the plant, with it being medicine, and with it being what can happen with this place and what it could do for the generations upcoming, up next. So it was important for our tribe to understand that and see it from all angles. Um, to be honest with you, a lot of our tribal members were definitely down for cannabis because of growing up into that realm, or knowing that it can help for whatever needs that they had. Everyone was thinking about it from a positive standpoint, so that makes it a lot more easier to talk about and to digest when you want to focus on key things with your community, because they're the biggest part of everything here that we do. So really it was some questions, how smells, they don't want to smell it, some people love the smell. They like the smell with it not being smoked and with it being smoked, but
Yeah.
a lot of the questions were like, were there going to be smells around, things of that nature. So we had to make sure that everything was done properly for it would be appropriate for the members of the nation to say, yes, not necessarily represents the tribe, because we're not trying to say cannabis represents Shinnecock and Shinnecock doesn't represent cannabis. That's not the key. It's just saying that this is what we have as a staple with what also we feel close to because of our culture and plant medicinal and just giving back and harvesting and things of that nature. So it was kind of it was those bumps in the roads, but at the same time, our I would like to say, and I like to throw a shout out to my community for being progressive and to understanding what's going to move us forward into the long run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially you know, and excuse me if this sounds ignorant, but I feel like there's a lot of spirituality that's
Hmm.
connected to tribes and everything like that. And
Absolutely.
me personally, I truly believe that this plant has some type of spiritual aspect or some type of higher consciousness around
Absolutely.
it
For
that
sure.
is like pulling all of us somehow to it. Like I've never experienced anything else in my life yet that really gravitates me towards where I think I need to go.
Yeah.
And it's so I wonder if you guys have any more insight or also felt that just being tied in with that, and even like an ancestor type look as well, using the plant medicinally and those aspects, if
For
any of
sure.
that's like
We
tied in.
we definitely used hemp and those certain products as nurturing aspects and medicine for us. And other tribes across the plains have as well. So we've always felt a strong connection to growing, harvesting, because our people were always harvesters. We were gatherers. We were hunters. We were whale riders back in the day. We rode whales, hunt whales. Yeah, that's what our tribe was known for.
Oh,
So we were always the gathering and nature and kind of tribe. So we feel definitely a spiritual connection. And I've spoken to other nations where they don't the way that they even move when they grow, when the plant is ready to be harvested. They don't even like they have a whole ceremony. It's important for them and giving back that love and that energy. And I think that's like the goal here as well, is like what we're putting back, what we're bringing in here and giving back to the people is something of nurturing what they need. So we take that same model and that same aspect and that same at least thought process with our people who come and shop with us, whether they be for the nation or whether they be from outside community area, and basically make sure that it's giving back into that and sharing the bounty. You know, that's the most important part. Because our people were always the medicine and nature and type of people. I I was just with a friend of mine and she was just like, "Yeah, we got that plant right there. It helps with your with lung breathing, everything like that." I was like, "Where?" She was like, "Probably right there in your backyard." You know what I'm saying?
Mullen. Yeah,
So,
wow, Mullen.
yeah, so it was just like
Yeah,
she just we have so much stuff around us that our nation was just accustomed and used to growing dandelion wine, all kinds of different
yeah. Oh
things
yeah,
that we use for resources and sources to nurture and help us as we went through the centuries, you know.
yeah.
So we definitely feel a strong connection with the plant as well as that is a time relying thing upon wanting to do this, you know.
Yeah. No, I love that you guys tied in a harvest ritual. I
Hmm.
think that's awesome, man. I think there's so many important factors that are missed when you branch into the legal space of cannabis with just the grind, right? And then that spiritual connection that I hold so dear.
People
Um,
people like
it's
to do
just
Athena too much, man. People like the AI, they AI bud now. They don't like to get nitty
yeah,
gritty and lock in and actually be with the plant, you know, and put in that actual
yeah,
energy. I was just talking to someone the other day. It's about the energy that you put in towards the cannabis industry alone
yeah,
and the plant. Like
yeah,
you the plant and the people know, we at least know, the people who are really for cannabis and what it really means know when someone's gravitating towards a different type of green feeling. You know what I'm talking about? Where
yes,
they're looking for their money, their pockets, and everything is gravitating somewhere else, and that's fine. Everyone's got to eat. Everyone's got their own dollar, but some things just don't belong with each other, and that's why they never work out that well. You know,
no,
because the your mission was never tied right with the actual action, you know. So it's
yeah.
it's it's tough, but it's always important to align yourselves with the right people, and that's why I love, like I told you in the very beginning, people like yourself, Adam, that do this for people to actually talk about what's important and talk about the people that are really trying to, you know, bridge the gap.
Yeah, because this industry is a straight collision of yin and yang. You know, we have the cats that are so passionate for this plant
For
that don't
sure.
have an ego attached to the plant. We're just here to progress it, right? I don't
Hmm.
need to attach anything. I didn't create this plant. So to
Facts.
say that I have attachment, that I'm doing this, that I'm the headiest doing it, like I don't believe in that,
Right.
right? I just planted the seed. I tried to listen to the plant to see what it needs, and then we go from there. And if we're aligned with each other and that energy is synergistic, then you
Mhm.
get a really good product,
All the
right?
synergy has to be there for sure.
And and it's wild how we have this collision of people that are passionate to then maybe the C-suite people that got to funnel down to the people that are passionate, because people that are passionate on the ground level, right? They're the growers, they're the people advocating for us,
Cultivators
the
for
bud
sure.
tenders, stuff like that.
Hmm.
Um, and navigating it, I've been in legal cannabis now for maybe in and out around a decade, right? So it's wild to see this relationship of greed and spirituality like collide
Yeah,
at
TikTok
such the
stuff.
rate it's doing. And that's why this industry has such a turnover rate because we crush so many souls because they just weren't given the right soil to grow in
You're
because
absolutely right.
we
The
didn't nurture
turnover
that.
rate is ridiculous in the cannabis industry. Is the turnover rate, man? I have yet to seen it be that fast ever before. I was like, whoa, like you just have people left and right say, all right, I'm done. You
I'm
know,
out.
from brands to managers to regular PSA butt tenders to like, you know what I mean? Like it's like, all right, well.
It's like bigger picture. It's like at one point, when are we going to look at that and be like, what
Right?
is really causing that?
What's
Right.
causing
But it's
that? Yeah.
like, you know, that's an argument for a different day between you and I, Jay, to
Yeah.
solve. I don't think we're going to solve that today. But what I think we
No,
can get into is take me back to the past, man. Take me back to the origins. What was little Jay like growing up? And when did you first kind of come in contact with this plant and
for
feel
sure.
something from this plant?
Man, I've always been around cannabis. I want to say I grew up in the Bronx initially. Like I was born out there and I grew up a little bit out there and then I moved back out here. And when I moved out here, we had a lot more farmers. We had a lot more just accessibility. Not to say it wasn't easy to get cannabis out there, but the social networks that you were in Long Island and the Hamptons is just a little bit different than than being in the city where you're pretty
Oh,
much
yeah.
with a group of friends, but you're mainly alone. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
100%.
like when I moved out here, I was pretty much already into sports. So I'm almost six
Nice.
five, so I was definitely into sports
Nice,
and stuff
dude.
like that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
all of us were pretty much hanging out after, and I'm such a social person that I was always just hanging out with, different eclectic groups. Um, a lot of it stemmed from just curiosity, and I was just like, "Yo, what y'all doing over there?" Like I always knew what cigarettes were; those were always a turn off to me. I was like,
Yeah.
"Nah, that shit out of here. We good on that."
Yeah.
But the
Yeah.
cannabis, I was like, "Damn, what's that smell?" I was like, "What's that?" I was like, "Well, let me try this out." So one day, a friend
Yeah.
of mine, we were on the basketball team with each other. I was like, "Bro," and I trust you. I was like, "Yo."
Yeah. Yeah.
Look, I'm trying to smoke a joint. I want to know what it's like. We just came back from a basketball tournament. My body
Yeah.
hurt. Like I just want to, you know what I mean? What's the word? He was like, for real? I was like, yeah. And he was like, yo, bet. Walk down to my house. I walked down to his house. It's late at night, and we just up here on the res, and I'm just chilling. And he's like, yo, let's go. We got to go get it. And I was like, all right, bet. We walked down the street to go get that shit. And then we're smoking it. He's already somewhat of a, I won't say an experienced smoker at the time, but he's obviously
Yeah.
accustomed to it.
I was
So
about to say, it sounds like your friend's already burning a little bit.
right,
You know,
right,
he knows what's
exactly.
up. Yeah. Yeah.
So
For
so
sure.
I'm
That's
like
a good
yo,
friend to have.
facts, and that's why I trusted him in order to do it. And I was just like, all right, so what's the word? Like how we do it? He was like, yo, you got to break it down, blah blah blah, roll it up like that. So we went through the whole motions and shit, and then so now we got to light it and smoke it. We walk down the street, it's dark, man. We're doing high game. So he's like trying to like test my high, like spelling out
Mm-hmm.
words like fork,
Mm-hmm.
fork, like things like
Yeah.
that. And it was
Yeah.
just like a
Yeah.
memorable thing. I will never forget it, and it was just like but it was also a social thing I did with a friend to where I've always been like that now. Like I will smoke a
Yeah.
joint by myself, but I'd rather smoke a joint with my friends. I'd rather do something socially with my friends and such. So it just became ever growing after that. And then as I got older, I started getting into that legacy vibe of it and understanding it
Yeah.
and growing it and doing it myself. And I was
Mm-hmm.
just like, you know what? I like this. I went to my mom. I was like, I want to be a hibatinist. Like
Word. Yep. Yep.
I started growing a
Mm-hmm.
little bit and got a little, my head up a little bit. And I was just like, but it's hard. Being a cultivator, extremely hard, man. Shout out to all those people who do that, because like how you said, those are the grinders. Those are the people that don't get that recognition, and it sucks, especially out here in New York. But
Yeah.
it's one of those things where it's like I appreciated it. And then when I found out my tribe was doing it, like I said, like 8, 9 years ago, I was like,
Yeah.
a light in my head just was like, you know what? Let's take what I know, let's take what I've done in the actual real world within like being a manager and doing certain product things. Cause I used to work in the liquor industry.
Word.
I was
Yep.
just like, you know what? Let me apply that and help my tribe in any kind of means ways that I could. So it really all started from those motions and that notion there.
Yeah. Yeah, and it sounds like your family had a good, like, reception to it too. They
Oh, my
seemed a little
mom laughed. She
supportive.
loved it. She was
Yeah.
like, "Oh yeah."
Yeah.
'Cause
That's
my
sick.
mom was like very. They grew up in the '70s. They chilling. My mom was a very educated person. She'd go to school and but when it came to the party time, they was
Yeah.
out there on rollerblades and sweating jerry curls. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
light up a
Yeah.
joint. So
Hell yeah.
there was nothing never new, and it was such a great thing when we first opened. My mom came through, and she's been back and forth, picked up a joint from us and everything. Like, so it's cool, man. You see the circle and
Yeah,
the
man.
receptiveness and the people either who had ties to it back in the day or people who are interested in now who are in either older bracket who
Yeah.
either used to do it and they stop or are interested because they need it for those sleep health whatever kind of things that may help them, and it's cool to kind of just give them that education because that's what we're here for, sharing that bounty.
Yep, yep. It's all about education, especially for the older folk, because it's
Hmm.
not the same weed that they used to
For
have.
sure.
And I really hope
Get
that,
smacked over here, man.
for the older crew that I know that's listening, they're probably gonna laugh when they hear that. But I just tell everybody, like, yo, low and slow. I
For
just had
sure.
an older lady, she was talking to me and she was like, I ate just a quarter of the edible. And then I look at her man's and I'm like, well, yo, and she was like frozen. Like, she didn't have the best experience. Maybe inside her body, she was having a good
Yeah.
experience, but like,
Yeah.
you know what it means if you see someone eat too much, or like what
Yeah.
I see a lot is a way too big of a dab of like a concentrate, right? So I looked at her man and I was like, well, how much, like, what was the whole dose?
Right.
Like, and he was like, "Oh, I don't know. I think it was around 30, like something high." And I just looked at him and I was like, "Yo," like, and I looked at her, I was like, "You need like a 2 milligram."
Yeah,
Like
for you to
even
start
that, I'd
off.
rather start you on like a vape, like a 1-to-1, or like a hybrid vape that like
Yeah.
all in one where like you just take a small pool.
Right.
And then you get into these
And then
concentrates,
you
but
go
you
into
can't
the
go
hot.
ghost anymore. Like, come
Yeah.
on, we
You
need
know
you
what's the
back here.
what's the best thing about us, like, excuse me, with being in New York?
This episode is brought to you by Waddle, the world's fastest and easiest way to review and track your medicinal cannabis products. Waddle offers batch specific reviews, so you'll know what to stash or what to trash. It's exclusively available for Pennsylvania medical cannabis patients. Waddle helps you take the guesswork out of your cannabis journey and ensures transparency with the verified product tracking. Download Waddle now on iOS or Android, that's WODL, and take control of your cannabis experience today.
And being from here, being from Shinnecock and being in Little Beach Harvest, we have those differences in the market, man. We
Yeah.
don't have to stick to 5 to 10 meg gummies. We have 50s, we have hundreds, we have all that kind of stuff.
Now
So
how is that?
why is that?
Yeah.
Because we don't have to implicate the same kind of rules that the New York OCM has. We
Interesting.
govern ourselves. So, in sense, if it is a 5 meg, we could do that. 10 meg, we could do that. 25, we have that. 50s, we have that. If we wanted to give you one whole big wheel of a gummy that was 1,000, we could do that. You know, it's
Whoa.
really just because we govern ourselves and that we are able to work outside that type of that red tape that they allow. The only issue is like we would love to be into the New York State realm, but the fact is they would want to audit us. They want tax money from us, and that's not happening. I would love for us to sit down, work something out to where it's something beneficial for everybody because that's
Yeah.
the fair, right way. But man, I don't know if you checked, but it's like 13 point something over here for cannabis tax in New York. It's like 13.25 or something, 13.80.
I
It's
still think
crazy.
that's less than what it was in Colorado when I was out there. It
Really?
was, yeah, I'm pretty sure Colorado was more than that.
Woo! That's crazy. I
Yeah.
love Colorado too, man. I like that
Yeah.
really that's such a great place for cannabis. They really, really got it locked down, man. And
Yeah.
I had such a great time out there. And it gave me hopes for what we could do out here, with us being able to do indoor grow facilities
Yeah.
on territory. It gives us such the upper hand within the market here because everyone out here in the New York State within the in the New York dispensaries, they got to stick to greenhouse. They got to stick
Yeah.
to outdoor greenhouse, which is nothing wrong with it. But I get complaints from people all the time that they don't want that. It's dry, it's old, it's. So one of those,
Yeah.
it's just one of those things where I love being able to give our people what they want and the way we could do that, and they feel so comfortable. Our community is so comfortable with asking us and being like, hey, can you guys just get that for us? Or and if I could do it, I'm gonna do it for them, so
Yeah.
it's not about the dollar, it's about that person. It's about making sure we get them what they need, so to the what's back to what you were saying about helping that person. Great job, man. Like, because that's important, because I've seen and I've been to dispensaries where their motto is get them in and out the door. They don't care. They don't care
Yeah.
about the fact of this person had a bad trip. Let's get them back on the same thing because the profit margin was high.
Yeah.
That's not
Yeah.
that's not what it is. That you lose trust with those people.
Yeah.
So, and that's what we don't want in cannabis culture right now. We don't want to lose the trust. We need all
No.
those people with us, man. It's it's pretty simple.
Yeah. No, especially to me. And it's just like, if we lose a person, we lose a vote to push it.
For
Right.
sure.
And like, it can all be so avoided with education. Unfortunately, we're at our
Mhm.
hands with what we can really do.
Absolutely.
But
That's the part. That's the red
yeah,
tape.
it
That's
really
the
comes down to the bud tenders, man, and the training that they have. Because I completely understand numbers.
yeah.
I love numbers, but I
Hmm.
think you need to understand on how to listen to what they're asking for and still treat it in like a medicinal aspect because these
Right.
people are finding that relief medicinally even if you're still looking at it recreationally. So if these businesses are able to find that connection, their numbers will boost even further, right?
That's
And they won't lose the person who feels like they were just being rushed out. On a past
they gain
episode,
more.
yeah, I had my old buyer that I used to work with, Jimmy Lane,
Hmm.
and we would work hand in hand in the dispensary. Now, Jimmy, I pride him so much because he can take a slower pace than I can. Like I'm a kind of a let's go type of dude, but I
Right.
listen. And you need to have those two differences because if there's a patient I felt needed way more care, I would just put it to Jimmy. And Jimmy
Yes.
would be able to chill and take his time while I can
Tag
go
me
out
in.
and push those numbers of
Yep.
what that dispensary is looking for.
Yep.
And that just comes to your team, man. It's all a team. You gotta work
Absolutely.
together in these places. And sometimes you just don't see it. You don't see
Hmm.
that connection.
It's
You know
great
what I
to
mean?
know that, like, here, especially, we have a great team here that are very our community loves our team and loves and trusts us. So that's always important. It gets back to the root of just the connection and the synergy of both, and how they both hand in hand work with each other. So I agree with you 100%.
Yeah. Now with that, when you're hiring people, is it all in tribe or can you take other people out of the tribe, like in the community as well? Or
We
or
do
how does
both.
that all work with you
So
guys?
tribal
Yeah.
preference is usually
Word.
key.
Yeah.
You want to be we want to make sure that our members are getting a shot in trying to whatever kind of platform they want to be in. If they're looking to just be cultivators, if they're looking to be like our satellite growers, they want to start a brand up themselves. We always take those in, as long as everything's tested. We have everything tested and above board. It doesn't make it into the shop if I don't have a COA attached to it,
Yeah.
so it's always about safety once again, bringing back that trust level. So there's always that, and then within other roles inside LBH if they seem as if they want to be part of it, if they want to be suitable for it. Like I'm starting up a street team right now, so that's like I'm looking to employ only really Shinnecock members at the moment, really for that, just so that it's our faces on the street that these people see. You know,
Yeah,
it's
man.
not other people like, but we also have like tons of our staff is very diverse, you know, from women, black, white, doesn't matter. It really,
Yeah.
it wouldn't matter as long as you have that connection with the mission. If you understand that you're here to actually help people, and yes, dude, get a paycheck because we all got to live and eat. But as long as you're
Yeah.
doing it the right way, and as long as you're pro Shinnecock and pro LBH, you know, you got a home here. You know, that goes far as being a customer here and goes far as being a worker here, you know?
Yeah. That's sick. And how was reception from the community when you guys kind of started? Were they all about it, or was there any type of pushback outside of the tribe?
Nah, you know, it was pushback within the later rounds only because of the fact of us needing to make sure that everyone got a fair opportunity for a spot.
Yeah.
You know, when you have a lot of people jousting for the position, you want to make sure the right person gets into the position. You know, it gets a little hairy and such, but for the most part, our tribe, I reach out, I try to do career fairs, I try to do things that just to find the right constituent for that job. You know, I'm always trying to make sure that like I'm being somewhat vocal to my community to let them know that like this is what we have going on. If you want a job or something, everyone, well, like I said, we're so tight knit that we and everyone lives next to each other in sense that
Yeah.
like, hey, yo, if
Yeah.
you need to, if you have my number or you know where I'm at, like, because the tribe in this building is literally on the same territory. You understand? So like, we got this whole
Yeah.
mile strip, and then the store itself, the dispensary is on the highway mile, and then then the reservation itself is behind it. So
Where?
if I always say like if you have questions, if you want to come by, if you want to ask for a job, if you need, you know what I mean, just stop through. Like I'm always here, you know. So I will
Yo,
always
that
put
just sounds so sick, dude.
yeah, yeah,
Like,
it's important to have a community outreach, and I think I'm trying to work hard on that, you know, because it's really important in stabilizing your people and just giving them the courage to not only take it like start you can start here and then propel yourself outward, you know. It doesn't,
yeah.
you know, you don't have to. This gives you at least a foot in a game into the real world if you wanted to go retail, if you wanted to do in business, whatever the case may be. Kind of just gives you that foot forward and at least just building character for yourself, I would say. So like if you're interested, I always say come on down.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So something I thought was curious that you said was just like how the location is on the strip. And
Hmm.
my question, since you guys kind of operate in your own ordinance, did you have any trouble locating where you could or where to put your dispensary? Because in the cannabis space, like one of the biggest issues that companies face is real estate
Right.
and the
Yeah.
parameters on how they have to operate. Like it may
Right.
be 1 foot, you know, you may have to be a
Excuse me.
thousand feet from this place and you're a 999 and like they won't let it happen.
Nope.
And
Yeah.
you already
They.
put deposits down. You already put like and then it's just swept. So
Hmm.
do you have to worry about any of that?
No, actually, we don't have
Ooh.
any issues with zoning of where we wanted to put our shop. Only because it is on territory. As long as
Mm-hmm.
it's on territory or any kind of Indian
Yeah.
land, Indian country that's owned by the
Word.
Shinnecock Nation, or however else we were to do it, we don't have any issues. They can't tell us what to do with our land. We
Yeah.
actually were just in a whole big thing because we have land elsewhere on this island. Not only because we're Algonquin is our language, our native language, and our native tribe, and we were sisters and brothers to Montaukes, to Canarsies, all that. So this whole eastern end of Long Island was all Indian country just to begin with in the first place. The whole US was Indian country. But if we were to talk about where exactly the origins of us come from, that's it. So anywhere where we have tribal land that we are able to operate off of. So we actually just got into this whole ordeal because we just put up monuments on our tribal land on the highway over here on 27 on Route 27 that comes into the Eastern Long Island area. So we had pushback from the nation. I mean, not from the nation, from Southampton Town, things of that nature. But then, New York State's like, yo, this is their land. We can't do
Yeah.
anything. It is what it is. So same thing with like we're building a gas station. We're doing a lot of things, moving into a lot of different business ventures that are even off territory land. But because we own and that land is ours by restrictiveness, that's where we're
Yeah.
able to operate. So they don't have jurisdiction in sense of to tell us that we can't do what we need to do. And should
Yeah.
and our build we have a vertically integrated license, so we work with pretty much however means of how we need to.
Yeah. That's what's up, man.
Hmm.
Dude. Yeah. Wow. Cool. So let's dig into some products, man. Jay, I know you're probably in there, you're picking stuff you like and all that. What what kind of products you guys got in the store? I checked out the
Man,
menu. It seems like a little bit of everything, man.
we got everything in there, man. We have our gummies, like I said, our Beach Spice gummies.
Yep.
We got those in
Beach
10s and
bites. Yep.
50. Yeah, we got those. Those are live resin, fast acting.
Nice.
We have our flour is top notch because, like I
Word.
told you, it's all indoors, hand
Yeah.
selected. I look through them. I get the gloves out. I get the monocles. I'm in there. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Giving this test. The R&D is real.
What
Um,
are what are some of your favorite strains you got rocking right now?
Right now, great gas. I love our grape
Ooh,
gas.
word.
We have some good Capital Haze.
Word.
We have a good lemon cherry jealousy. Um
Nice, dude.
we have some stuff grown from the nation, a brand here called Pashon, where we have some succotash gumbo, fire
Nice.
hybrid.
Yeah.
Our hash rosin pens are going crazy
Ooh.
right now. Yeah, people
Yeah.
love our
Okay.
half-brand hash rosin pens. The cleanest, I swear to you, the cleanest things I've smoked in a long time. And the vape on it is so clean, ceramic tip. It's a half gram. We'll be getting a 1 gram of those too. Right now we got
Word.
Sunset Haze and Banana OG, and then we're gonna get some
Ooh.
more. Yeah, it's so good, man. It's really tasty stuff.
I've been
We
leaning anything banana lately. I've been
Yeah,
enjoying a lot.
you liking
The banana. I
that? Me
have
too.
been. I have been. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that,
Well,
that's
it's a new
awesome.
terp to me in a way.
Mhm.
Like back in the day, like we didn't really have a
That's
banana
true.
flavor. You know
That's
what I
very
mean? So
true.
it's
That's very
through the
true.
cultivation, I think, of hash, we're looking for other things than what we were trying to cultivate in the past. And I think
Hmm.
that's bringing out more of these tropical blends, these papaya mixes, these sherbet mixes,
Herberts,
gelato
yeah,
mixes,
yeah,
and especially these banana mixes,
yeah,
man.
for sure. Yeah, we got a lot of different eclectic stuff in here, man. We got I would say what live resin vapes. We
Yeah,
got tons of vapes. We got
yeah,
so much stuff. We got liquid diamonds. This stuff right here. This is some
nice.
liquid diamonds, 2 grams. We got one G, 2G, 3G vapes. The
Yeah,
switchers, all that
yeah,
stuff. So like all our product is really like calculated and made sure that it works for our people around here. So if they like I told you if they need something more like people were asking more for sativas because New York is a sativa
yeah,
energy vibe.
yeah,
I made sure that I brought in at least like 12, 13 new like high testing, medium testing sativas from Super Booth, Pure Michigan, like
nice.
all kinds of
Yeah,
things that like
yeah,
real pure homage stuff that really not only it doesn't have to be a 25% tester. And that's the
yeah,
other thing with the education, like knowing the terpenes and knowing where and what actually works for you. That's
yeah,
the real part. And I was telling people like with our Super Booth, it was testing at like 15.6% THC. But
yeah.
what it did for you was
Hit them
different.
with it.
Yes,
Hit them with it.
but
Hit them with it right
you
now. They need to hear it.
but you store
15%.
it.
Hit them with it.
15% set them on a euphoric flow, bro. On that, on euphoric, like, like the best energy that they've really. I had people come back to me like, "Wow, like I wasn't expecting that." Changed my mind on what a percentage of THC actually means, and I'm telling them like, you don't need to go. You don't need to have a 30%, a 50%, whatever. It's about the terps in there, and if you pay attention, you find really what works for yourself, you know?
Dude, when I see high percent flour,
Mm-hmm.
I stay far away from it.
Yeah.
I think it's weird. I don't think it's natural. You know, when people are like, "Yo, I want 30," I'm like, dude, I don't know what's going on there, but like
Sometimes
I
it's
look for
two
that
pumps.
low. Yeah, man. I look for that low percent, you know,
Yep.
and that's where I feel comfortable and I have the most success and the most continued level consumption.
Yep.
Like I don't feel
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's with the
I
higher
agree.
percentages, I feel like you kind of go on a wave and it's just not the idea of what we
And
need. But
sometimes even when you do hit those 30%, and it's just like that, if it doesn't do nothing for you, then it's just like, all right, well, that
yeah,
was a 30% what?
yeah. And I say this as like a predominantly major solventless consumer only, but when I do get a hold or have my own flower, like I like that smaller cultivated flower that like I know is just true and
Yeah.
not manipulated. And who knows where these test results came from at this point, you know, but
Yo, man, labs pop
Pennsylvania,
up and they're gone within the same month.
yeah, and Pennsylvania is just a percentage patient driven buyer. Like they just want a high percent off the
Mm-hmm.
board. And it's hard to combat that when you're like, yo, I get it. Like my strains are maybe 22, 24,
Yeah.
and like still they're just like, no, like we need it to be 30 or
Yeah.
higher. And I'm just
Yeah.
like,
They need to be
30 or
they need to
higher? Like,
30 or
what do you
higher
want me
is
to do? Dip
crazy.
it and distill it?
Yes. Heady, real
Like,
heady vibes over
you
here.
know, so it's wild how that data. So I'd love is that same I was gonna ask you that in your nation, like, is that the same kinda coming through your stores? Are people really looking for that still in your
It's a
area, or
bit
do
of
you think
both,
it's
you know?
yeah,
It's really, I'm gonna be honest with you, it's more people, they are a little nervous about a higher tester when
yeah,
they're starting to come back into the game, or just because they don't need it to be that high. Like some
right?
people, but then I do have people who are like, yo, I'm trying to go to sleep, or I'm trying to be smacked, and I needed to at least be up to 20. I had a guy this morning actually. He was saying, asking me for a, he was looking for indica, but he
Mhm.
wanted to be in between 26. He wanted to be in between like 22. And
Yeah,
I'm like, all right. I was like, well, how about this 18 or 16% papaya cake? I was
word.
like, it's the indica, like you're gonna get it at the same strength that you would think that you would be spending this extra dollar on for
The
this
23.
bubblegum runts that's like 30% or whatever like that. But
Yeah,
you're not even like, he's not even like thinking about, he's just thinking numbers, you know. He's not
yeah,
thinking about really what it's going to do for himself, you know.
yeah,
And so like I still have to listen to him, work with him,
yes,
get
yeah,
him what he wants, but also try to open up his eyes to something to where he could grow from where he's at. And then
yeah,
if he's on that 30, then by God, by golly,
yeah,
that's you. You know
yeah.
what I mean?
Oh, that's you.
I
Yeah,
respect you, you know what I mean? But like, you know, like it's just really about just that education, man, and giving them that idea and that sense of the, like, you don't need to follow the number, just follow what this actually does, follow the properties within this plant, and then you'll be all right. Then from there, take it to wherever you need to take it.
yeah. What about you guys have pre-rolls?
Oh yeah, we got 2 packs, 5 packs, 10 packs.
You think you sell what do you think your data shows like pre-rolls compared to like a distillate cart or something like that? Because PA, we don't have pre-rolls yet, right? But I know
Really?
that's like such a like
Yeah,
that product will fly
we
to
got hash
anything.
holes, we
So
got pre rolls, we got all kinds of
yeah,
stuff, you know. So,
yeah,
really, our numbers show that our pre-rolls, we have them, our two packs were killer. Our two packs were
Yeah.
like killing the game. We had them in, and then we also had like these little dog walker five packs
Yep.
for the
Yep.
first part of it, which was equating to about, just about an eighth
Like
anyway.
two. Okay. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then the two packs, they're about point five, point seven, so equal out to about a gram or a little bit more depending on the flour or whatnot.
Yeah.
Um it's and then from our carts, I'm gonna say our carts now, because of us opening up more and more like the hash rosin and
Yeah.
the 2 gram liquid diamonds and those kinds of
Nice, dude.
things, our market for vapes have skyrocketed opposed
Yeah.
to the two
Yeah.
pack. To the even to the point to where it kind of is like it kind of made us think like maybe we should stop making 2 packs and only
Mm-hmm.
make fives and tens and just
Mm-hmm.
focus on those instead of, but then at the same time, like, nah, because I'm gonna still have those people that only
And
want a
want
2 pack
that.
real quick.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it plays with you a little bit. But if I was to look at the whole bigger, broader picture, it's definitely the vapes that are overtaking our market over here in this eastern part of Long Island because of the convenience of it,
Yeah. Oh yeah,
of
man.
being
It's
everyone here has like, I say cannabis here had cannabis in general, but definitely cannabis in the Hamptons has many different faces. You got
yeah.
doctors, you got police, you got all kinds of people who actually utilize cannabis. And
Everybody, man.
yeah, everybody. And so like it all looks different. So it's like those people's lifestyles may need to be more secretive of how they could consume and such. So
Mm-hmm.
here I feel as though it's been the vape route, and because of the purity and the cleanliness and the products and the devices that we carry and the
Yeah.
reassurance and stuff, that it's been picking up a lot more.
Oh yeah. No, I love to compare it because I feel like when I was in Colorado for a while, like
Hmm.
pre-rolls were king, man. Like you would just
Hmm.
have your customers that come in, they might just buy one pre-roll a day,
Get
but like,
facts. Yeah.
yo, they love them.
I
They
got
love
those.
them,
Yeah, I
you
still got
know?
we
And
still
it
got those people for sure.
and it's cool. What I love about cannabis is like you can really cater to any type of customer, and it's
Facts.
cool to recognize like who your customers are and make sure you can always cater to them, man. Like that goes so far in someone's day when they know that like no one else may not have their back, but that pre-roll like just changes it, and they can
Um,
count on Little Beach Harvest to come in, get some relief from their stressors of their life. And I think that's the coolest thing with cannabis, especially with
I
these vapes.
I
I got a
love
weird view on them, but
I love
man, they're
when
so
people
convenient.
come through, because sometimes I'll be up the front. Like I say, I'm everywhere in this building, and sometimes I'll be in the front when someone comes through, and I'm just like, you could always tell because of our building. Also, it's such a big building and nice, and like everything that like when it's their first time in, but so they automatically
Yeah,
get a good feel off that in general, and then the smells, of course, of cannabis just being in the air. But then when they always come into the building, sometimes say, "Hey, how you doing?" All right, and then they'll always say, "But I'm about to be better now," because they know that
exactly.
what we have in here is gonna, help their day out from this point forward.
Yeah, and I mean that's just gathering karma on your side, man. Being able to be part of the entity that's giving the people that relief. I mean, that's just building your own. I like to call it a karma bank, is what I call it. You know
Wow,
what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah,
Sometimes you gotta cash it in, man. Sometimes we're human and some shit happens and you just gotta be like, all right, man, I'm gonna cash in my karma coins. Like,
yeah,
get me out of
facts,
this one. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
facts,
But then you always gotta rebuild it. Like, you cannot stop building that bank because I feel like
100%,
ultimately like that's what this shit really runs on.
mm,
Whatever this is, human connection wise,
yeah,
that's the true currency, right? Um,
100%.
damn man. So you guys getting into washing? I heard you say you got rosin.
Yeah, yeah. So what we're gonna do here, we're starting to figure out our plans for distribution. We want to start
Word.
getting everything right now like out and open. We have our own place where they do the facility for us, like everything with the pressing and everything for us right now with the filling.
Nice.
But we want to
Yeah.
have our own place on territory right here. Well, next to the building of ours here
Yeah.
to do that facilitating within product marketing management within product distribution with our gummies, our vapes, our
Yeah.
flour, to get those into other places, um in other dispensaries across Indian country and wherever else that we are able to be, you know, uh lucky to be in.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's definitely that's what we're doing right now. Our rosin, man. If you ever come out to NY, bro, definitely
I
check
might
out.
have to. I
Yeah,
might have
definitely
to
check out our
now.
stuff. We got our own podcast too, man. I'd love to have you on our keeping up with the
Oh.
yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah,
Maybe
so
on a podcast.
yeah,
Oh
it's
man.
some love to
That's a
have
whole
you,
other
man.
side. Yeah, I gotta be careful. I don't know
Yeah,
if I can
it's
be
good
released to
times
the
over
public
here.
like that.
And like our area, man, is like this place because of I should also highlight this. This is a real important space. Is our dispensary is so different than any other because of the
Yeah.
fact of we allow consumption here. We do events and we are able to. We're doing a lounge upstairs. We have a patio area with seating and fireplace and everything like that. So after you pick
Doing
up
it
your two
right.
pack pre roll or your vape, you can sit down and smoke with us and chill and just enjoy the vibes and it is what it is. Enjoy a summer day, a spring day, winter day, whatever the case, because we have that area for you. So that's really the difference also in what we when I talk about community involvement and bringing everyone around and breaking that stigma of not having to go hide in your car to smoke a joint. You can smoke
Yeah,
it
man.
outside, dog. You don't gotta be buttled up in the middle of
Yeah.
there. You could sit in an igloo. We got igloos. Like you could sit in there and smoke. And like we got tons of stuff that you could do here. And I'm just building those events and things like that so you can continue to be a community involved area and atmosphere,
Oh man.
for
Yeah,
sure.
dude, you guys are doing it right.
Yeah,
You're doing it right.
it's
I think
supposed to be
that
like that.
I think that's the blessing of, the parameters of what you're able to be blessed into working in
Yes.
compared to the restrictions that we have to deal with on our
Yes.
end, because that right there is what cannabis should be. That is the cannabis community. That
Facts.
right there is giving
100%.
people that safe space and guiding them through this whole journey that they're about to embark on, whether that be a seasoned user, a new user, but giving that comfortable environment is so important. Just to
So,
be comfortable with your shit and be able to smoke, chilling, and
facts.
not have a problem. You know what I mean? So, one, I want to thank you for being able to do that and for doing it because that's a blessing. That's a blessing
So,
to your community.
appreciate you.
Yeah, yeah, man. So, what's your favorite, Jay?
Of products,
Sure.
what's my favorite?
I know, man. That's hard. Maybe we were talking
Ah,
about banana terps, but maybe at the end of your day, what do you find yourself more gravitating towards? I know you said you're more of a social smoker, but
I am. I'm
what?
more of a smoker, so I'm still smoking. I'm a sativa smoker at that. So I'm probably doing like the grape haze Rainbow Road, or I'm gonna do a gummy.
Yeah,
I like our gummies. Our gummies set me up for the day or the night, I should
nice.
say, if you need to, because
Yeah,
we have different forms. We got hybrids, indica sativas. We got hash rosin gummies. So
yeah, yeah.
it's
That's
all
my favorite. I like to taste it
edibles.
still. You know,
Me too.
that's
Yeah. The
yeah.
consistency
Word.
always has to be there, but I need to be able to at least know that what I'm tasting is the
Yeah.
legit thing. Well, so
Well, it's
yeah, I
cannabis. I
honestly
want
would
it to
say
taste like cannabis.
those. Yeah, I would say those out of that. It would either be the Rainbow Road and the Great Gas or the gummies, the Little Beach Bite gummies. The
Yeah,
50 makes
yeah,
though. I do 50s. I pop
yeah,
50s.
yeah. No, I get it, dude. Trust me.
My
I
the
do.
hash rosins I'm popping hundreds. The other day,
Really?
yeah, the other day I took 250. I was wilding.
Yeah. How'd that go?
I was on my couch like this, just like
Yeah.
eyes back. I woke up a couple times, making a
Yep.
life decision. Do I get up and make food into action, or do I just let it consume me? And I was like, I almost fell for the consumption part, and I was like, nah, let me get up real quick. and start
Yep.
like moving around, getting some blood flow. But yeah, I was smacked.
Yeah. Yeah, man. That's a heavy dose. That's a heavy
You
dose.
got to
I
R&D.
I did I was doing an R&D for a company when the PA program first started. All they had was a CO2 extracted syringe that they were trying to run as like a RSO product, but then
RSO.
they were
Okay.
also trying to run it as like their dabbable product. And I looked at them and I said, you know, no one's going to dab that, right? And I was like,
Yeah.
it's CO2 and you added terpenes. Now, granted, this was like 8 years ago. This was a while ago.
Right, right.
Um, so they were like, all right, well, why don't you try it? And I was like, all right, I will. So they transferred me the money and I went and bought it under them for R&D. And
Yeah.
I took one dab and I was just like, yo, like this tasted really bad. But I'm gonna
Man.
do you one better. I'm gonna do R&D on what this would be like as an edible. So I took
Um,
two sour watermelon gummies and I squirted the rest of the syringe. So like that was 1,000 milligram syringe. So
it's smart.
I put the rest. Dog, I had a long front yard. And usually I mow half of it, I come back in, I roll my second joint, and then I finish it off with a joint. Dog, I parked the lawnmower, I think probably mid-yard, went inside and just fell asleep. Just fucking fell asleep. Rocked until the next morning. Didn't even finish the yard. No. Didn't even roll a joint. I think I went in to roll the joint or whatever and just fell asleep. And I
Yeah.
was like, well, it works great as an edible, but I would not pursue that as a dabbable product in PA. And they didn't. They stopped it.
Oh
Um,
man, they
so
they
yeah,
they
I get
needed
it,
you
man.
for that, yo. They needed you for
Woo!
that.
So now I stay around,
Listen,
you know,
man.
30. 30 is my comfort.
What would the cannabis industry do without us, man? We the R&D people, man. They need us.
That's it. They need it. And now we have a good definition of what not to do. You know, dude, don't do that. I'm telling you, do not.
Thanks.
I went to Colorado and usually I get Keef Colas and they're just 10 milligrams and
Yes.
I like them because it's just 10 milligrams. I don't really drink soda, but they always kept that taste that I
Taste,
love, that
yeah, the
cannabis taste,
carbonated,
right?
yeah.
And I go in to get I always stop at the same shop every year that I go visit. And I'm like, all right, man, I need the key codes. They're like, yo, check it out. We got 100 milligram ones now. And I was just like, dude, no, keep
Yeah,
that
you
away.
do
I
it,
don't
you
need to
do
slug.
it.
I don't need to slug 100 milligrams right now, man. I just want my tens. You know, like let me be comfortable,
Had to
man.
feed you the hundreds.
Yeah, but it was cool to see. But like I said, that's another aspect of cannabis where we are blessed, where you can take this plant and cater it to yourself and be comfortable with any product
Absolutely.
you get. You know what I mean? So Jay, wrapping up, man. First of all, let me know tell the listeners on where they can find you guys at any Instagram or social media, but also let us know any up and coming things that maybe the community could know about and you could they can get involved with that, your surrounding community.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I know. You can find us basically on a lot of these platforms. You can find us on Facebook at Little Beach Harvest Dispensary. You can find us on Instagram at Little Beach Harvest, just all one word, Little Beach Harvest. And check out our products, check out our mission story, check out everything about us, and stay in tune. You can purchase tickets and everything throughout our website on littlebeachharvest.org. And then for the future, man, we got a action packed spring and summer because we are in the Hamptons, man. I got tons of
Oh
new
yeah.
things. Our second year, we're in season 2 of Little Beach Harvest. So first starting up right now, I'll be doing an event pretty much at the last Friday of every month. So check up on our social media to find out what that is exactly. But April 5th, we have a show that we'll be part of at LTV Studios. If you want to check out some of our products, like our Capital Haze, some of our pre rolls, our vapes, our edibles, our gummies, we'll be there for that at LTV Studios for a concert show. And then for our 420, we have a Cannafest. Will be the High Tide Cannafest, presented by Little Beach Harvest here at the dispensary. It'll be a 2 day
Word.
event, the 19th and the 20th. I have DJ Funk Flex from Hot 97 coming through to spin some ones and twos for us. Then the second day, exactly. Then the second day, I have some local artists, Rum Punch Mafia, coming by. Local band that everyone loves around here on the island. And then I also have Dave East coming through to perform.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
and we got a good action packed 420 with a lot of brands, a lot of cannabis love
Man.
vibes, and then local talent around the area. So it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a good time. And then a couple jazz shows going in, fashion
Ooh,
shows. We got
yeah.
everything going on, man, here at the dispensary. Because, like I said, it's really about a space for you as a person of lover of cannabis or a lover of hobbies and different things that if you correlate this with cannabis to correlate like do it as your pastime, I'll make this event for you. I'll do it. Like game nights, paint nights, whatever the case may be, where I'll always have some cultivator nights, all that kind of things that basically makes our community go around into one full circle. So we'll be having tons of events going on. All you got to do really is just stay tuned on our on Instagram. I do polls up there. I do movie nights. We'll be doing movie nights at LTV Studios as well. And you can check up on our podcast, man. That podcast is actually supposed to be going up this week. So
Ooh,
our very
nice.
first episode, yeah. So we got a lot of good things coming up, man. A lot of good things
Awesome.
coming up. So make sure y'all
And
guys stay tuned on
where are
that.
you what platform are you dropping that on?
I think we'll probably just be doing StreamYard and YouTube.
Okay,
We'll be
cool.
doing a lot of different sorts, but I'll make sure to put everything out on our Instagram through our stories and through our posts because we plan on full sending this thing.
Yeah. Well, this is a good dude. This is
Yeah, I
a really
appreciate
good brand, everybody. So listen to what this man's saying and stay up to date with him because I don't know anyone doing it like Little Beach Harvest right now on the East Coast. And
that.
you gotta pay attention to that.
Yeah, lock in, lock in.
My man Jay, thanks for being on here, man.
Appreciate you, man.